So in our journey through the Gospel of Mark, we've talked about how Jesus saw the imprisonment of John and he responded. Jesus saw the injustice of the imprisonment of John and he began to live into his calling. And of course his calling was to be a great teacher. So he calls his disciples and he takes those disciples and he goes into the town of Capernaum. And he does the religious thing. He does what the religious people do. He goes into their religious gatherings every week by week. He's doing the religious thing. But there's something about what he's doing that is different. His teaching is somehow different. It has a special authority. There's something about what Jesus is doing that's different from the other people. Now, I've talked a lot about this sort of idea, what gives a teaching authority, and there are many things that you can talk about there, but certainly, especially when it comes to religious teachings and religious teachers, what gives an authority is how that person lives their life. Does what they teach actually match how they actually live the rest of the time? The 99% of the time, they're not in that religious gathering. And for Jesus, Jesus did live a different life. He taught a different teaching, and he lived that teaching fully. Now, we Christians are often criticized for saying and doing, being a certain way on Sunday mornings, and being very different the rest of the time. This morning, we take our worship out into the park, out into the streets. This is one way that we can let down the barriers of who we are on a Sunday morning and who we are the rest of the time. This is one way. This morning as we worship, I hope that we'll remember to have that courage to try to live that way we say we want to be on a Sunday morning, to take that person out of those church walls and be that person the rest of the time. It's not easy and it is a challenge, but with God, all things are possible. And if we can do that, we can be the living gospel. And Jesus' teachings will still have an unparalleled authority. Amen.